Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. So, Sean, we're going through this ritual every week. Last week it was with Comey, where we had the pretext, the
shiny object?
No, the explanation that it was all about the way that Comey had handled Hillary, and then Trump undermines his own people and says it was Russia. This week, just last night, you get H.R. McMaster putting his reputation on the line and issuing a general denial. As a former attorney, I can tell you that you've got to specifically address each allegation. You can't just utter general denials. But the problem is that he looks like a fool this morning because Trump is undermining him. It happens every week, and now people are talking impeachment and this and that. We hear it all the time. We've heard it since, before Trump was making fun of Megyn Kelly. The campaign was going to go nowhere. At some point, you're Chicken Little, or you're the boy who cried Bruce Wolf, and you turn off or tune out to all these things. I don't know that the public really cares about this, but let's talk to an expert.
Let's get him on, because I love his site. I really do. Freebeacon.com, the Washington Free Beacon.
To Bill Gertz, senior editor for the Washington Free Beacon, author of the new book, I War and Peace in the Information Age. Good morning, Bill. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hi, Bruce and Sean. Good to be on the show.
So what do you make of this tempest of the week? With now Trump basically tweeting, I gave the Russians the information.
Well, yeah, the question is whether it was classified and whether it was revealing some great secret. If you look at the lineup, you have a 3-star general in McMaster who wants to be a 4-star, coming out and saying that the Washington Post story is false. And then for the Post, you have some anonymous sources claiming that the sky is falling because Trump said something to the Russians. So I'll be honest, I don't know what to think, but I would trust the 3-star over the Post any day.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, because
that used to be called Pravda on the Potomac.
Yeah, I get it. But here's the problem, Bill. It seems like Trump should have come to the defense of the guy who came out for him and carried water for him last night, McMaster. And his tweets don't sound like that. It sounds like he's fudging on it, and he's saying, it's like last week with the Comey story. I mean, he should have said, no, we did not give out classified information. He's not saying that this morning.
Well, what's classified? Probably anything the president says in a private meeting is probably considered classified. I mean, that's how they classify the time of day in most places in the government. So I'm not too concerned about it.
All
I
right.
can say there's a lot of other problems in the world, like the North Koreans firing off a big missile the other day. But, this is just the latest anti-Trump propaganda from a lot of the left-wing media, in my view.
And, Bill, I don't think it's a problem at all. In fact, Oliver North did get a Fox News show out of it. So what's the worst thing that could happen? But more importantly, I'm looking at your site today. And, I love the site because I find it very informative. It's in my top 3. It really is. And Microsoft blames the NSA for the cyber extortion. Why isn't this story getting the kind of, I don't think, well, I mean, it's getting notoriety, but all of a sudden Trump says something and it's kicked to the back burner. I think this is a story that really not only is about your book and what you wrote about the book, but this is really going to be the future of our main concerns, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a really interesting issue. We saw this massive ransomware attack. Basically, what happened was that some hackers, a group called the Shadow Brokers, were able to steal some NSA information. And what they uncovered was that the NSA had identified a security vulnerability in the Windows operating system. Once that got out in the open, some hackers wrote a program for it that's this ransomware malware, which basically breaks into your computer, encrypts the information, and then sends you a message. You pay $300 in Bitcoin, or we're going to destroy your information. So they only got $70,000 so far, but they infected some 300,000 machines. So it is we don't know who it is. The White House has said they didn't know, but there's suspicions it's either the Russians or perhaps the North Koreans, who are big into making money. But if this was a sophisticated operation, they would have got more than $70,000.
Well, the North Koreans would play right into it, because in North Korea, $70,000 goes a long way. You could buy like a square mile.
Yeah, no, actually, the North Koreans were responsible for a bank hack in Bangladesh, which netted them tens of millions of dollars. So, like I say, that would be pocket change for a sophisticated operation. So It doesn't seem that sophisticated.
If the North Koreans are so sophisticated, well, or able to do this, I mean, why can't they grow a crop or feed
get
their
rid of
own
that
people?
Hillary
But
Clinton
here's the
outfit.
thing: your book is called "I War and Peace in the Information Age." So, how does this all impact foreign relations and war and peace?
Well, it's an information war. I mean, just as we are in the information age, foreign states, namely the main bad guy states, China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, are waging what I would call unrestricted information warfare. That is below the military, kinetic military level. And the U.S. is just losing out in this. We're way behind. We don't have the same kind of institutions that can counteract this or promote a different narrative. It's a vital that the U.S. gets on board, and I'm hoping the Trump administration will, if they can get their act together, start to do some of these things.
Yeah, because people don't really. We're always fighting the last war. We fought Vietnam the way World War II was fought. Finally we got the idea that you don't show pictures of the Tet Offensive. You give shock and awe, and you at least do something in the first Iraq War. And now we seem to be behind the eight ball right here, and it always takes America a long time to wake up.
Yeah, well, the last war is the war on terrorism, and right now we're very good at killing terrorist leaders, but that's not going to solve the problem. We've got to wage information war. We've got to attack their ideology. That's what we did in the Cold War against communism. We need to do that against terrorism, and we're not doing that now.
Well, Bill, I want a book. I want you to sign it over to me, your favorite interviewer ever, and I want to know if in the foreword you give credit and pay homage to Al Gore, who invented the Internet and gave it to us all.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
There you go. Bill, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bill Gertz, senior editor for the Washington Free Beacon, author of the new book, I War and Peace in the Information Age.
No songs, huh? Nothing to go with that? You're dying to sing. What is it? Do you have Fiddler in the Roof on your head constantly? What is going on?
I have a son who is a karaoke DJ.
Really?
He does
Shocking.
He does not let me come to any of his gigs because I will sing plush.
I mean, do you think it has any correlation with growing up and you in the house singing songs, obscure songs out of nowhere at inappropriate times?
Going into
kind of leads into the karaoke career, doesn't it?
I think so. I think it's a genetic thing. I'm pretty sure. And I thank you for suffering through 4 hours with me again.
We've
today.
got 3 more days of it. Sins of Our Father by Bruce Wolf.
You know what I want to hear from Dan and Amy. They're coming up from Punta Cana, and I hope they're roaring drunk.
Fun in the sun.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.